All right, friends, so back again for a day full of theme. So today our I can statement is the same as I can find the theme of a text by finding evidence of the hidden message. So let's go ahead and start. What is theme? Let's go over what theme is. I know we had the same exact slide yesterday, but it never hurts to go back over. So a theme is a central idea or message of a story. A theme is often somewhat hidden. Remember, it's the hidden secret or the hidden message in a story. Usually the reader needs to infer the theme. Remember, use your background schema, your knowledge, and the clues that the author gives you. And after reading an entire story or book, the reader should consider the overall message the author was trying to convey through the book. However, let's think, can a book have more than one theme? Yes, chapter books often have more than one theme. Let's read this short story and determine the theme. Easton, we decided to cancel our trip to Disneyland in June. We're going to use that money to fly to Oklahoma and help your grandparents right away. A tornado had ripped their house apart just yesterday. Easton was shocked. He didn't know what to say. He understood that they should go to help his grandparents. In fact, he wanted to go help, but it didn't seem fair that he should be forced to give up his trip to Disneyland. He had dreamed about this trip for years, and his parents had finally purchased the airplane tickets. Who knew how long he'd have to wait for this opportunity again? Easton felt angry for the next 24 hours, not at his parents, but at the situation. It was so unfair. However, that feeling of anger melted away when he arrived in his grandparents' town and saw the devastation caused by the tornado. Suddenly he realized that he had a lot to be thankful for. First and foremost, his grandparents were unharmed, and that was the most important thing. So what do you think the hidden message of the story is? What was the story trying to teach you? What about be thankful for what you have? You never know what you have until it's gone. You need to be thankful for what you have. The safety of those you love is the most important thing. He wanted to go to Disneyland so bad, but then he realized, having his grandma and grandpa safe, that was what was most important. And help others in their time of need. You should always be willing to help someone. You never know what somebody's going through. So let's read this short story and determine the theme, and then we'll be done, and you can go practice on your own. Wyatt and his parents were at the restaurant waiting for their meals to be delivered. As they waited, Wyatt's dad was pointing out the 10 things he had done wrong during the football game that afternoon. Wyatt always dreaded this post-game ritual, where his dad, a retired professional football player, listed everything he did wrong during the game. In fact, Wyatt's dad was so focused on pointing out Wyatt's mistakes that he didn't immediately notice that a boy and his father had approached the table. "I'm sorry to interrupt your meal, but I was wondering if I could have your autograph," the boy asked Wyatt's father. "Of course, buddy," Wyatt's dad replied kindly. "What would you like me to sign?" As the boy handed Wyatt's dad his baseball cap, the boy's father went on and on about what a gifted football player his son was, and how proud he was of his son. "Boy," Wyatt thought to himself, "that kid is so lucky. It must be nice to have a father who thinks you're great and doesn't point out every single mistake you make." They spoke for a few more minutes, until the servers arrived at Wyatt's table with their food. After the boy and his father returned to their own table, Wyatt's father went right back to critiquing his son's performance on the football field. When Jeff and his father returned to their own table, they discussed how friendly Mr. Matthews had been. Jeff's father began to tell Jeff about the unfortunate injury that resulted in an early retirement for Mr. Matthews. "Boy," Jeff thought to himself, "that kid is so lucky. It must be nice to have a father who knows so much about football. I bet Mr. Matthews is able to give his son helpful pointers all the time." So let's remember to ask ourselves, what is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? So let's go back and think about the story. Each boy wished they had the other dad. As a dad, they both saw great things in each other's dads. So what's the theme? Everyone faces challenges in life. Often, we don't fully understand the difficult situations that others must face. So think about it like this. We never understand. Sure, it looked great that his dad was a professional football player, but he was miserable. His dad only pointed out the bad stuff. So the little boy only saw the good part of the dad and didn't see where he was just hurting his son's feelings all the time. And the other way around. One boy wanted the other dad who didn't know a lot about football because he seemed so kind and so helpful for the son. But that son didn't want him as his dad. He wanted the professional football player. You just never know somebody else's situation. You always want what you can't have until you have it. So, the next time you are asked about the theme of a story, what will you think of? You know what I'll think of? A theme-filled cupcake sure sounds good. So I'm going to let you guys go, and you are going to do some theme passages for me. All right, I can't wait to read them and see how great you do. See you for small group.